Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Nicholas Malson speaking, and I warmly welcome you to yet another episode of my podcast, where you and I will hopefully smile once again. If this is your first time listening to this podcast, welcome, and I hope you will enjoy your stay. If you are a returning listener, as per usual, it's an absolute pleasure knowing that you are listening once again. And hopefully you will enjoy this day as well. Purpose of this podcast, to those who don't know, is simply focusing on optimistic things or talking about nice things that have happened recently, or also trying to find most of optimistic things within the pessimistic things. So just focusing simply on optimism, positive energy, just having good vibes, and hopefully this podcast can be used as a nice corner somewhere on the internet where we just simply talk about good things and just try taking a break from the cruelty of the world. Because the world is a cruel and unjust place, but at least we can enjoy the sunsets. And I hope that this podcast can help you do exactly that. I actually do want to talk about sunsets and the sunrises, because I keep addressing these pretty much every single episode, and I didn't really dedicate much actual podcast episode time about them, because I think that this natural event, as the sun or sunshines and sunsets and sunrises, they can help your state of mind. It can help you just find some time to yourself. You can simply wake up early in the morning before the sun rises, maybe just have a nice jog or just have a nice walk before the city wakes up. You can find a nice place, maybe by the river or wherever you are. Just find a nice and open place so it doesn't get obstructed by buildings or anything similar. And you can just take a seat and start looking at the sky as the sun rises. Obviously, don't look at the sun itself, you will get blind, but you can at least just feel the sun rising. It is a very special feeling. The first time I have actually seen the sun rising was during my graduation. So I was finishing school, we just passed the exams, and it was the final year for most of us. Although some who wanted to continue the education at that school, they could stay there for, higher school, or I think to some of you it will be college already, but who knows? I don't know. You guys, different countries, they have different ways of calling the classes and stuff. But okay, just before I continue, so we start our education usually at age 7, this will be the first grade, and then at age 15 or 16, that will be the 9th grade. So this is like the general kind of like primary and secondary school years. So we would pass the exams in 9th grade, and then after that we can either go to college or to a technical institute, or we can continue with the higher education at school. So ages of 16 to 18, that will be the 10th grade, 11th grade, and then 12th grade. Although I think before it used to be just 11 grades, but I think the 12th grade was something that was added, well, relatively recently. I can't say that it's like the most recent addition, but it just is what it is. So yeah, I hope this kind of clarifies things. So at grade 9, it was our graduation. We have finished school, yay, all that stuff. The official ceremony has passed. It's all good. And then we would just celebrate, go whatever, do whatever. I personally wasn't a big fan of that event, simply because I had a different mindset back then, and I just simply wasn't getting along with classmates again because of my mindset. And eventually, we ended up celebrating till late night. It was about 3 o'clock at the night. We would go to the beach, and then we would celebrate it there. Again, I was not really willing to be with them. I just wanted to be on my own. And what I did is I just went to the beach. Well, I mean, we were at the beach, but I went to the actual sea as it's, just hitting the beach. And I would just sit down and I would just look at the sky. And I saw the sun rising. And this was the moment that just, I think, made me feel more hopeful about my future. Because to be honest, at that time, I did not know what is about to happen. I didn't know how much my life would change. And because I think after that graduation, I, just celebrated, well, not celebrate, but I have enjoyed the last summer, like proper summer, before beginning college in the UK. And I think actually during that summer, I actually tried going to work. So I actually had a job for a month. It's just like a summer job, which was, decent experience, so at least I had some experience. And yeah, it was just this final moments before my life would just change completely. Like I would start living in the UK and I would just build my own life, I guess. And here we are. So that sunrise kind of gave me a glimpse of hope that perhaps I can make it. And despite the challenges that I have faced in my life, I did make it. So, here I am. But there's still a long journey ahead. So I can still continue improving myself, and I can still be the better version of myself. So I think that's it. And I have a support of my family, my special one, my close friends, and this time I'm pretty sure that the only way to go is up, and I should never look back. But sometimes I remember that sunrise, and that sunrise definitely made me feel better about life itself, I guess. So yeah, sunrises are really inspirational, especially depending on how you look at them and where you are located. I remember the most recent experience with sun rising is when me and my special one, we woke up in the morning. I think this was something I have addressed the previous episode, but just kind of like to reiterate, it was really peaceful. Like we saw how it was getting brighter and brighter, and like it was dead, well, not dead silence. Like we could still hear some birds singing and chirping and all that, and I felt really, really peaceful at that time, and so did my special one. And it felt really great. The only thing that I need to know, have a look at now is the sunset. Because I think I may have seen the sun setting, but not properly. Like I only saw the sun coming down maybe for just a brief moment and that's it. But I'm talking about the actual experience of just like sitting down, either on my own or with, special one, and just watch the sun go down. Like not rushing anywhere, just keep looking. And that'll be a very, very nice moment, I think. I need to try it. Maybe this weekend I'll try it. We'll see how it goes. By the way, to those who are interested, by the time I'm recording this, it is 7:43 p.m. It's the 24th of March 2022, so it's Thursday evening. Again, I think I'm going to be busy throughout the weekend and tomorrow as well. I'll be having quite a lot of catching up to do, and hopefully I'll be able to get things done. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, if you haven't witnessed sunrises and sunsets, definitely give it a try, because it is an enjoyable experience. And it just connects you with nature, at least just for a brief moment, Sometimes those brief moments with nature, they can just get your mind back on track and just gives you motivation of keeping going on and such. Because nature is beautiful. And I think sunsets and sunrises, they kind of stress that point, that everything is beautiful. And it is worth looking at, I guess. Again, just a quick reminder, don't look directly into the sun. You'll definitely get blind. But just try and look at it safely, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's a bit of a rant about the sunrises and sunsets. Something that I thought I should have done earlier, and I thought I did, but now, just talking about it, I feel like I haven't. Something else is in my mind. I haven't talked much about kindness. I mean, I have mentioned it a couple of times here and there, but maybe I just didn't dedicate enough time talking about it. Because kindness is very important, especially in very stressful and challenging times. And I'm talking about what is happening now, and again, I don't want to delve deep into it. And by the way, I hope you're all safe, and I hope you're doing good. But I'm just talking about just challenging times in general. Small acts of kindness can go a very long way. And it is very important that you keep being kind, even though there are lots of moments and there can be some people that can challenge your kindness. And sometimes your boundaries can be pushed to the limit. And sometimes it is okay to lose the momentum as long as you return back to your initial state of kindness as soon as you can, because when you're angry, it's very difficult to go back to like feeling normal or being kind. But what I mean by kindness, it's not just small acts of kindness, like sharing food with someone in need, or like spare some change for those who are desperate. I think kindness is about doing those actions with sincerity and being genuine about it. Because if you pretend to be kind, it is not going to help you much, because whilst it is nice that you may be doing some acts of kindness for someone, but if you don't feel like you actually want to do it, it's not going to help you, and especially the other person who is going to kind of experience this act of kindness, they may notice that this is not genuine as well, and they will feel bad. I know this from a personal experience. I have tried acting kind whilst not feeling 100% right, and I think it has made some people upset. So what I want to suggest doing is, if you don't want to be kind, then at least be mutual with others. Treat people the way you want to be treated. But you don't necessarily have to just go above and beyond to be as kind as you can. Be kind when you want to be kind. Be kind when you feel genuinely and sincerely kind. This will be remembered much better than those moments when you just pretend to be kind. And And then eventually you will understand that all these acts of kindness, the genuine acts of kindness that you did, they will rack up, and people will start looking at you in a much better perspective. Like, they will say that you are genuinely a kind person. I mean, I don't want to judge myself. I'm not really a big fan of judging myself. But I have been told that, like, the way that I, communicate with other people is, sincere and genuine. Because the problem with me is that I want to genuinely help people. But the problem is that I don't exactly know where to start. And I perhaps don't know, like, how I can actually help people. And should I really help people? I mean, the last question was not really necessary. I mean, of course I should help people. It's just a matter of how, where, and who do I help? And will I be able to help them? And I'm not simply talking about, like, charities and, like, donating and stuff like that. No, it's like actually investing your time into something that will genuinely help other people. Maybe volunteering can help with that. It can help you practice the not just committing to the acts of kindness, but also just the general idea of altruism. Because we, the people, we can be too selfish sometimes. And it is important to keep in mind that lots of people, they feel the same way like you do. Like, they care about themselves first and may put others second. It is sometimes important to put yourself second and then someone else first. Like, for example, especially if you become a parent, or if you have someone who, you need to look after, maybe, a people, like a person with needs, and maybe a pet, or someone or something else. Like, sometimes just putting yourself second does help. But eventually, what I'm just trying to say is that as long as you act genuinely and sincerely, your acts of kindness, they are going to be valued more than if you pretend to be kind. And if you want to start feeling genuinely kind, I think you just simply need to practice. And as we all know, practice does make perfect indeed. Or simply maybe seek advice from those that you know the best, your friends, your relatives, again, your special one, if you have one. And I'm pretty sure you will find something that will help you reach this pure state of bliss and kindness. And I hope you do get to that point. Because, the goodwill, the kindness, it just... Sometimes in this cruel world, we need this kind of like dose of kindness, and a dose of goodwill, and dose of optimism and positivity. Just so we could balance things out. Because we can't just live in this wave of negativity or wave of absolute neutrality all the time. We sometimes just need these doses just so we could understand what is actually good and what is not so good. Who is kind and who isn't. Because it's not going... Like, the fact that there will be no evil in the world is not going to happen. There always will be evil. What we need to understand is, like, how can we focus on kindness, and how can we focus on good power, and the power of good as is. And when we do that, then we'll be fine. So I hope this makes sense. Maybe these words can help you go forward, and just try and be genuinely kind. Find this sincerity in your actions. Do what you feel is best, as long as it doesn't harm others, and it doesn't harm yourself, most importantly. So, Another thing that is in my mind, it's gonna sound strange, but it's money. So, I have recently been reflecting on my progress in Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And most of you know that I am at stage 2 of it, which is, the need for security and, protection. And finances is one of those things that can help me to feel safe and secure, so that I have, I always have an access to an income, so that, I can always be able to afford something that I need to, as long as I don't, waste money on nothing unnecessary and stuff like that. So I have realized that there is one of the biggest foes with my finances, and that is contactless payments. You know the thing? So, like, instead of putting a chip and pin into the card device so you can process the payment, you instead just swipe your card onto the card machine, and voila, you got paid. Or sorry, you paid for something. So here's where the problem comes in. Firstly, the contactless payment can help, well, not help you, but it can distract you. It can just let you pay for more and more things without actually looking at what you're paying for. And secondly, your bank statement will not be up to date with contactless payments most of the time. They will appear at a much later date. And when you think like you have caught up with your finances, the following day you may realize that, oh, more money has been taken into your account. And then you remember, like, oh, there are these transactions that I have made in the past. I completely forgot about it. And it's definitely not a good thing. And I have fallen into this trap way too many times. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to avoid falling into the same trap again. So I'm going to try and be more careful with finances, especially with the contactless payments. So here is the advice that I'm going to try to follow, and hopefully this advice can help you as well. First things first, try not to use contactless payments that often. You may sometimes need to use them. One of the examples can be paying for bus tickets, because I know nowadays that the buses, they may not accept cash, and they don't have chip and pin devices, so they only have contactless scanners. So in this case, you may potentially need to use contactless. Or what you can do is just simply have the exact amount of cash ready with you for a bus ride or something like that. That should usually help as well. So try just sticking to either cash or chip and pin payments. Secondly, if you still feel like the contactless payments are a bit too much for you, just disable the contactless payments at all. I think you can do that in the banks. So you can perhaps just make your card chip and pin only, and that should potentially help you out. Then, what you can do as well, it's not just related to contactless payments, it's probably just banking in general. Just basically set up the savings account. Have only set up my savings account recently, so I will just start chipping in small amounts, so that in case if I have a rainy day, I will always have like this safety pillow in case if things get too bad. And just basically put some in. And the good thing about savings account actually is that each year your savings can actually increase, like due to interest and such, because you keep having the money in there. So the more money you've got saved, the more money you will receive following the interest. The interest rate is not a lot usually, but it just depends on how much money you've got saved. So just start saving up, I guess. You can just set up the, like, what's it called? Not the direct debit. Or actually, I think it is direct debit. You can set up a direct debit transferal so that, for example, at the beginning of each month, no matter what it is, like no matter how much money you've got, the fixed amount of money will be transferred from your current account to the savings account. So that way you don't forget to actually transfer money to savings account. And then lastly, there is this one feature that I was taught about. If you have this in your bank, definitely try activating it. It's called saving the pennies, or saving the like cents or coins or whatever. What it is that on each purchase, the value that you will pay will actually be rounded up to the nearest pound. So that, for example, if you bought something that is worth, like let's say £1.50, either £1.50 or $1.50, whatever, the amount will actually be rounded up to $2 or £2, and then it will be taken off your account, but the 150 will be taken for the actual transaction, whilst the 50 will be moved to your savings account. And that way, when you spend, obviously you will be spending more, but in case of a rainy day, you can just look into your savings account and you can notice that there is actually an increase. So, like, you have saved up much more than just that initial installment you've made, for example, at the beginning of the month. My colleague at work has advised me that, and I was thinking, why did I not think of it before? So hopefully this will be sorted out. Can't wait to give it a try, actually, because this is going to be an interesting experiment. See, like, how I'm actually gonna go with it, and we'll see how it goes. So I think at this stage, maybe this year is going to be me against my bad habits on finances, and I will start being much smarter with money, because sure, money is like it comes and goes and such, but I want to start like investing money into something more worthy and more useful, and potentially I will be able to build a better future. Now, certainly I can say the fact, money doesn't buy happiness and stuff like that. But if you think about it from a different perspective, money can actually help you get those experiences that will make you happy, or at least give you this sense of satisfaction. I think most people saying, money doesn't buy you happiness, they probably don't know how to actually invest the money correctly, as in like where to spend it, or where to put it in, that kind of stuff. Because if they do know how to do it, then at least, they can just dedicate more time to get their, to maintain their happiness. And the fact that that they have available finances all the time, it can just make them feel calmer, and make me feel calmer. That everything is fine. In case if something goes off, at least I have something to rely on. But I can still like enjoy life and get the experiences that I want. Get the things I may need, or like invest into something that I want to enjoy, and I will enjoy, hopefully. So that's kind of a thing, I guess. So yeah, don't think about money in a negative way. Just I think this is actually a really good practice to find the positives and negatives. I mean, what money, like why money is actually good? Well, I mean, money just gives you motivation to actually be better at things. Money can be considered as a good reward for hard work. Uh, Also, money can, in most cases, avoid. Actually, no, this point might be a little bit too debatable. I was trying to kind of like refer to the fact that money can actually make things more peaceful and potentially more diplomatic, but nowadays I'm not entirely sure. Um, Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Let me know what you think in the comments. But I personally think that money can help sort things out in a more diplomatic way, rather than using violence and such. Um, what else? I think money can help you understand how far you have gone, as in like what's your progress, or it can also give you a wake up call when things are starting going really bad, when there is a loss and such going on. It can just help you wake up and think, okay, what is actually going on? What can be done? Although, like, it actually depends on how you look at the losses and such. But yeah, just be careful with it, definitely. I mean, I personally feel like money does help nowadays. I mean, pretty much everything is is circling around money, really. And obviously, I'm still I still remember the phrase Jimi Hendrix at some point said, "The best things in the world are free." And even though people say that everything is worth costs money, there are such things as love, kindness, mutual respect, and similar things. They don't necessarily require money, but like with money you can actually help getting those experiences that can improve the mutual respect, that can potentially help finding love, maybe, or just simply help you to develop yourself. Certainly there can be places where you can get things for free, but what I mean, freedom is a very difficult context and difficult subject to understand. What is free nowadays? Like, does freedom sell? Who knows? Who knows? But anyway, this is just a bit of a food for thought. Maybe you've got some thoughts of your own. You may be able to share them. Let me know what you think. But with that being said, I feel like this episode has gone pretty well. It was literally first take. I felt like there were things that I want to discuss. I do apologize if I stutter sometimes, but I feel like it was a bit more fluent this time. These things, they just kind of happen, and to be fair, I feel like it was more improvised as well, because I didn't expect I'll be talking about sunrises and sunsets, but here we are. Before I go, I would like to thank you for your continued support. That's first thing. Secondly, I would like to let you know that the next episode is going to be an interesting one. So stay tuned. It's going to be quite interesting. And maybe something will happen in episode 25 as well. Who knows? But in any case, do stay tuned. You may hopefully enjoy the next couple of episodes. We'll see how it goes. But for now, I want to say thank you again to everyone who is supporting my project and my work. And I really appreciate everything that you guys are doing. That helps my channel. If you enjoy my work, that's great. If not, that's perfectly fine. At least I'm glad you enjoyed. At least I'm glad that you gave it a try as is. If you want to communicate with me, feel free to do it on YouTube channel. The channel's name is called Smile Once Again Podcast. You will notice it. It's the same logo as in multiple platforms you may have seen. So like in Spotify, Google Podcasts, not Apple Podcasts, not yet. Pocket Casts, Radio Public, Breaker, etc. You can leave a comment in any of the videos. I will refer to them in the latest episode. If you want a more direct communication and a more anonymous one, or not anonymous, but if you don't want your comments to be read out in public, send me an email. My email address is smileonceagainpodcast@gmail.com. One word, no special characters apart from the @ and $, all lowercase as well. And I hope I will get some communication from you. So thank you so much, guys. I really love how things are going right now. And I hope that I'm giving you some inspiration or at least some optimistic energy. I hope you'll enjoy the rest of the week. And I hope you will enjoy the following week as well. April is around the corner. And before I forget, to all the mothers in the world, I wish you all a happy Mother's Day. And remember that you are loved, valued, and as a son myself, I guess, I'm grateful for what my mom did for me to get to the point where I am right now. I love my mom, and I hope you do love yours too. This has been Nicholas Malson, and I wish you all a pleasant evening and a nice time. I hope to speak to you next week. Take care, and goodbye.